along with my small business after a slow, fair summer market as I intake product restock that forces me to reorganize my inventory and pack my biggest shop order ever. It is the first week of August, and I so super meant to film more than I did in July. But this past week was, actually I think it was the week before, was the Faire summer market, and this was my first time participating in the Faire markets. So Faire is a wholesale platform. I just opened my store on Faire. I was just accepted into Faire maybe a few months ago, so I'm very new on Faire. I haven't gotten any orders yet. And I was kind of hoping that the Faire market would bring some attention to my page and maybe I would get an order during the market. That did not happen. From what I understand of Faire, if a retailer finds your page, like if a store finds your page on Faire and then they place an order, Faire actually takes a pretty large chunk of that money. So a lot of places prefer retailers use their direct links. I had been promoting my direct links on social media and I had been messaging stores with my direct links. However, during the entire course of the marketplace, I only got a handful of views and nobody placed an order. But there were a few stores that looked at my page and said that they were interested but didn't have the budget right now. Especially with the summer market, stores already have a lot of orders that they're placing and they might not be able to place more orders for stores on top of what they were already planning. So I did get my products in the radar of some retail shops, which, given that wholesale is a very long game, might be something that I can reach out to those stores again in the future and hopefully get in those shops. I think given that it was my first market and I already had a lot going on that month, and I had basically no time to prepare for the Faire market. I don't know. I didn't go into it with really any expectations, and therefore my lack of expectations were met. One of the other things that I wanted to do in preparation for the Faire market that I didn't get to finish until yesterday, so like a week after the market ended, I wanted to take a series of photographs of my products in their final retail packaging. So I just wanted very simple photographs, plain white background, nothing fancy about them, of the products just packaged. I had to dig a few things out of storage for this because all of my convention display items were in storage. I took those out and I grabbed a few photos of multiple products all together on a shelf display. And one thing that I haven't done yet that I need to put on my to-do list to do is to reach out to the stores that are consigning my products. So I have my products in 2 consignment stores. Beetlebug Art Collective in Beaver Creek, Ohio, down at the Fairfield Mall, and K Collective in Phoenix, Arizona. And I want to reach out to both of them and see if they can get a couple of high quality photographs of my products in their stores. Because I think having a few photos of my products in a retail setting on a store shelf would be really good to upload to Faire specifically. They have a section for like additional photos. Having those photos of my products in stores, like actual store shelves, would be really nice for retailers to be able to see how to like display and merchandise my products. And hopefully that will be helpful in the future. I kind of wish I had been able to get this done in time for the Faire market. Alas, I did not. Speaking of convention display items, I found an interesting thing. I had to go to Target for some like house storage stuff, and very, very occasionally in their like Bullseye's Playground dollar spot area, very occasionally I'll find some things that are useful for artist alley displays. So while I was there, I saw this, which is just a little 3-tiered shelving unit, and it's nice because it pulls apart and collapses fairly flat. So when I put this in luggage for conventions, it's not going to take up a ton of space. And I think what I'm going to do with that is I think I'm going to put my acrylic standees on that at my next convention, which is not until October. I have gotten into 2 conventions this year, which is a little disappointing. The first one was Ishocon, and that was all the way back in January. The second one is TsukiCon, and that's not until October. The other interesting thing about TsukiCon, so Tsuki is a brand new convention that's coming to Dayton, Ohio, and normally I would be very wary of doing a first year convention. However, I will not have any other expenses beyond just the table fee. Now, the interesting thing about it is this is going to be a 10-foot by 10-foot booth. Normally, my tables are 6 feet, and I've had one 8-foot booth in the past. I have never done anything as big as a 10 by 10, however, and I don't know how I'm going to fill that much space. I'm glad I have until October to figure it out. Granted, it is now August, and I should really be thinking about this kind of thing, because I have 2 months. So that's something that I definitely want to make a video about in the future, is planning my Artist Alley booth from the ground up again. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you're subscribed so you can stick around for that journey. I just received a restock of a bunch of my enamel pins, which is good timing because I've been getting very low. I'm down to like 1 or 2 of a few of them. The only issue is right now my storage for my enamel pins has also kind of been taken up by scrunchies and pencil pouches. I've kind of eaten into my own storage space here, and I'm going to need to reorganize my pin storage. The other thing is that the first time I made these pins, I don't know if it was like a quantity thing where I ordered enough that my manufacturer offered to do this for free. For the initial order of pins, they came with the backing cards and individually wrapped in cello bags, and that's just something that my manufacturer did for free. With this restock, I don't know if it's because the restock was a much lower quantity. That has not happened. They're just in tiny little bags. They're not on backing cards, and they're not in retail packaging, so that's something that I'm gonna have to do myself. So I've also ordered business cards, which I just got one-sided printed, and I'm gonna use those for the backing cards. So I have to back all of my pins, and while I'm doing that, I'm quality checking them. And then after that, I have to completely reorganize my pin storage and figure out where all of these restocked pins are going, because right now there's no space for them. So an interesting thing that has happened with this restock is that the new ones, the bottom one is the new one, have been printed with UV printing instead of screen printing. And also the color of this enamel is ever so slightly different. I don't think it's enough to have to request a remake or anything like that. Like, it's still, the design still reads, it's still fine, it still looks fine. I don't know if you can tell the difference between the UV printing. It's a little bit, let me see if I can catch the light. It's a little bit raised. It's got a little bit of a texture to it. Whereas the screen printing is completely flat against the pin. I kind of think the UV printing, the colors on the UV print are a little bit more accurate, because the yellow on the screen printing got a little bit washed out and the pink darkened. So I don't know why that changed, but I think it's fine. I might have to take new photos of the restock for my product listings, but I think it'll be okay. So these are the business cards that I got for the backing cards, and they will just sit, this one barely fits, but it'll just sit like that, and then the smaller ones will sit in the middle like that. So while I package these up, I wanted to talk about what goes into the thought process of which pins I restock, because you might notice I only am restocking 4 pin designs out of a 12 design collection, which means that 8 of those designs are not getting restocked. And there's a couple reasons why. One of the reasons is budget. The first time I had this collection made, it was a Kickstarter, so I had money coming in from Kickstarter specifically for these pins, and I had a specific number of backers that had joined the Kickstarter and pledged for certain pins. Minimum the number of pins for the backers that backed them, but also I knew I was going to have some extra pins after the Kickstarter, and I wanted extra pins after the Kickstarter so that I could continue selling them. I used the Kickstarter numbers from the backer survey to help me determine that. So if 100 people said that they wanted a dreaming.exe pin, I ordered 150. And then that way I would have 100 to give out to the people who ordered them through Kickstarter, and then I would have 50 to sell for the rest of the year. But if only 25 people said that they wanted one of the other pins, for instance, the Power Lines pin, if only 25 people said that they wanted that pin, then I only maybe ordered like 50 of those, so that I had 25 to give out to the Kickstarter backers and then 25 to sell for the rest of the year. Now, how that applies to the restock is I looked at how fast each of the designs moved and how many were left. So some of the pins, like the Dreaming.exe pin, the Mini Star and Moon pin, and surprisingly the Error Sky.exe must shut down pin, that one surprised me because not a lot of people backed it through the Kickstarter, but a lot of people bought it afterwards, which is why I ended up with only one left. So those fast moving pins, I knew I needed to restock. And then some of the slower moving pins, either I have plenty left and I'm not going to need a restock for quite a while, or I might be close to needing a restock, but they move slowly enough that I might either let them sell out or I might get a restock later on down the line. It depends on, I guess, interest and demand in those. But for instance, the Twinkle pin, the Mini Twinkle, that was a borderline pin. I'm low on that design, but they don't move fast enough. And when I was looking at my budget for this, since I don't have money coming in through Kickstarter for the restock, I had it the first time, but I don't have it for the restock. My budget for this was only about $400. And I was looking at the designs that I was thinking of restocking, and it was originally going to be a design that I restocked, and then I decided against it just out of budget reasons. Now, I could have pushed that budget a little bit, but looking at how quickly the Twinkle pin moves, or really how slowly it moves, because it is not a particularly fast mover, and how many I have left, I think I'll be okay for a while. So what that means for the rest of the pins, I'm not sure. I don't know if the rest of this collection will be restocked again in the future, or if I'm only going to restock the ones that continue to move quickly. Which kind of sucks because, for instance, the Power Lines pin, that design was actually the inspiration for this entire collection. Because my original inspiration was skyboxes in video games, and what if there was a world where the sky simulation broke, envisioning that as a TV test signal, where like the sun almost got replaced with a TV test signal in the sky, was the original inspiration for this entire collection. And it makes me a little bit sad to not see that pin move as quickly, but I understand why it doesn't. It's not as universal of a symbol as moon with clouds in front of it. It's a little bit more conceptual, I guess would be the word. But some of the pins, like the Power Lines pin or like the vending machine pin, which is probably the least popular pin, is vending machines, those may or may not get restocked in the future. I think I would like to restock the Twinkle pin and the Grid Beach pin. I don't know when the budget for that will be available. So the issue here is that this back portion is being taken up by scrunchies and pencil pouches, which really only leaves this much space for enamel pins. However, the bottom is empty all the way back. So my plan is to kind of swap the bins. I'm gonna move these up so that we have the low stock pins in this little section up here, and then I can move this down and fill it all the way back with the restock. All right, everything is rearranged and restocked. So this one, there's only a few of these left. I doubt I'm going to restock them, but I've put the Glitch Strawberry enamel pins in with the same bin since there's only a few of these left. And the Glitch Straub is the only one of my first enamel pin series, the Sour Berry series. That's the only one that I'm going to continue to restock. And honest to goodness, that is mostly just because this is basically my logo. Like, that's basically the GlitchBerry logo. I don't know, I feel weird discontinuing the Glitch Straub when it is basically my logo. It's also by far the most popular one of the Sour Berry pins. The rest of them were a little, I mean, they're all a little niche, but the rest of them were even more niche. I just received, I think, what might be my largest store order ever. This was 33 items, all of it stationery. This person went ham on the stationery, so let's pack it up. So this person ordered 4 of the My Documents notepads, 2 of the My Place notepads, 2 of the paint.exe sticky notepads, 2 of the file save washi tape, 2 of the You've Got a Message sticker sheets, 2 of the scene pattern washi tape, 2 of the Save Your Thoughts floppy disk sticky notepads, 3 of the paint.exe washi tapes, 4 of the My Place sticker sheets, 2 of the dreaming.exe glow-in-the-dark stickers, as well as a 90s tech label sheet. I've gone and just stuck the smaller stickers in with this to give it a little bit more protection, so the small ones aren't sliding around so much. 2 of the My Place washi tapes, 2 Cool Sight sticky note pads, and lastly 3 of the hollow core shape sticker sheets. So all of this is one order. I don't know what they're doing with this much stationery, but I love that they know what they want. I think this is not going to fit in my normal size boxes. I'm gonna find a bigger box for this. Oh, it might be tight. It might be tight with all this washi. Nah, it fits. All right, we're good. I can use this box. Lastly, because this is going to be a visual change, I got new glasses. So these are the old ones, and these are the new ones. They're a lot lighter, and they're a lot less visually obstructing. Visual change going forward. My battery is dying. I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, y'all. Stay weird.